This is an intro video for the Light Blue Brother. It's also known as the Brother LS2125i. But in my room, we'll call it the Light Blue Brother. There's two parts of the machine, the main machine body, and then the foot pedal. The foot pedal is the gasoline, so to speak, like a gas pedal in a car. And when you press it, the machine will run. This machine has an on-off switch. It's here. When it's off, it's off. When it's on, it's on. There should be a light on there. I think all of these machines have lights. And then if I was to press the foot pedal with my foot, the machine would run. Lots of things move when you have a machine running, and we're going to learn about some of those parts right now. So first, on all the machines, there's a hand wheel. The hand wheel is a very important piece of equipment. When you put your thumb on the hand wheel in your hand, you always want to rotate with your thumb coming towards you. If you try to rotate this away from you, the mechanics inside the machine can get messed up because the thread can get sucked into the gears and then the machine won't work. So always, always, always thumb towards you. Thumb, 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 thumb. Now, when you move the hand wheel, many things move. First, let's talk about this. This is the this is the presser foot lifter bar. And when you move it up and down, it moves the presser foot. The presser foot is this little piece of equipment. It's got a little ankle. It's got some little toes. It moves. And I should not hear this when you go up and down with your presser foot lifter bar. Up, down, nice and quiet. So we're gonna lift the presser foot up, and then I'm gonna put my hand on the hand wheel, and I'm gonna zoom in here, and you're gonna see some stuff move. As you can tell, the needle is moving. Also, the other thing that's moving are these little teeth under here. These are the feed dogs. The feed dogs are the conveyor belt of the machine. They move the fabric from the front of the machine, underneath the presser foot, and off the back of the machine. Here we go. Look at those things move. The next thing that moves is the thread take-up lever, which is going to be in this opening here, that piece of metal that you see moving up and down. That's the thread take-up lever. And then the last thing you should see moving is the bobbin area. On this machine, your machine that looks like this, the Light Blue Brother, it may or may not have this part. Some of them broke, so we don't have them. But if you have this part, you simply pull it off. Oh, I can't do it with my hand. It's not that hard. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay. You just pull it straight off, but I couldn't do it without holding the machine. So you pull it straight off. It's just empty in there. Set it off to the side. And then right here is your bobbin area. It opens up. And in here is this whole fabulous bobbin area. This is your bobbin, your bobbin case. It comes out by lifting this tab right here. You lift it and you pull it out. This has a bobbin in it. We'll take it out of there. That's actually a bobbin. That's what would go inside the bobbin case to do the sewing. Set that aside. The bobbin has this little arm on it, and that arm always points to the sky. And you can see in here, there's a little gap in the middle. This arm goes into that gap, and then it clicks. If you don't hear that click, it means your bobbin case is not in there correctly. Again, it comes out that tab. There it is, and it goes in. Arm up, click into space. And then it closes. That's the bobbin area. But when we move the hand wheel, look at that. Inside the bobbin area moves. That metal thing you see moving around, that is the hook. And the hook grabs the thread from the bobbin and grabs the thread from the top, and it helps move those two threads together to do their sewing job. That is the bobbin area. Up here around the presser foot, and the feed dogs, and the needle, we also have this metal area. This metal area is called the throat plate. And these lines on it help us to sew a straight line. They are called the seam guides. And the way we sew is we'd actually line the fabric up on these, and we would look over here, not at the needle. We'd look over here, and we would sew as we sewed, we'd watch that the fabric was along those lines, and that creates a nice even seam or stitch. In this area here, so this is the thread take-up lever here, This area is called the tension ditch, and inside there's two discs that hold the thread, and that controls how quickly the thread moves from the spool pin, that's where the thread will live, and then it goes over here through this thread guide area, and then down in here. And when it goes through here, this helps control how fast the thread comes from the spool pin to the needle. This dial here controls the tension, helps the tension ditch. You want it to stay at 5. Up here is a thread guide that we would use for threading the machine. This U part here is for when we sew. This round part here is for when we wind a bobbin. Because when we get a bobbin, they don't have anything on them. They look like this. And we actually put them up onto the bobbin winder, and we have a spool of thread here, and the spool of thread comes out. The thread comes out to here and around, and then back to here. And then we would wind the bobbin. I'll show you how to do that another time. This is the bobbin winder, this little thing right here. It does move back and forth. You want it over to the left when you are sewing. This is the spool pin. The spool of thread would live on that. On some of the machines, the spool pin can go down and then back up. They're very sensitive and very easy to break. Please do not play with them. When they go back into the cupboard though to be put away, you can push it down and it's less likely to get broken. On the Light Blue Brother, there are two controls that manage the stitch. There's this big round knob, and there is this. This, when you press it, it sews backwards. That is how you start and finish your seam. And then when you get done with your stitching, you sew backwards a little bit, and that ties it off. And then when you start, it also ties it off. So you only have to stitch like this much backwards, just a little tiny bit. And then this knob controls your stitch. So if it's set at 1 here, that helps you make a buttonhole. 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all zigzags. 6 actually has 5 settings, and this is a straight stitch. Very, very tight short stitches, very, very long stitches. When you sew, you're going to want it to be in the middle. 7 is a straight stitch, but if you look at this picture, the needle is over to the left when you sew on 7. And then 8, 9, 10 are different variations of stitches as well. This knob has to do with doing your buttonhole, so you don't need to worry about that knob. That is the Brother, the Light Blue Brother, and that's all I have to talk about.